My name is Martin Apko, representing CAO Central Allocation Office. We are based in Freising, near to Munich, Germany. I'm originally from Prague, so I can understand a little bit of Slovenian as well. So dobrý den. Dobrý den is better. When talking about capacities in my presentation, I mostly mean transmission capacity. So a little bit switching from the previous block of presentations where it was rather about production capacities. Now we are coming back to transmission, electricity transmission world, and how to deal actually with scarce transmission capacities. What are the issues perhaps to be solved? I will also mention the connection to market coupling, necessity to coordinate certain areas in congestion management at all. So as I'm attending the conference after some 3 years, anyway, it's a very nice location to organize such a conference. I would only perhaps remind the CAO is then the CE auction office where we calculate the transmission capacities. Well, I will explain it a little bit more later, and allocate the transmission capacities to the market participants, to the traders. Well, the picture is not so much visible, but there should have been a map of the region. The picture is also a little bit obsolete because we have a new country operated by the CAO, which is Croatia, since this year. So this is a kind of first cross-regional step in our case. You see why the company was established, and you see that firstly it was actually a coordination of capacity calculation. Why might be explained a little bit later as well. You can visit our website and find out lots of helpful information if you wish. Yeah, so obstacles and opportunities in cross-border flow. There are definitely some. Some of them were mentioned also in the previous presentation. I divided it here into historical and newly created. Historical, I think it's quite clear that the national grids were well, I would say mostly well built in Europe, with focus to the domestic security of supply, which rapidly changed. Now, of course, we notice the problems with scarce transmission capacity, especially on the borders. In order to facilitate the IEM, the internal electricity market in Europe. And newly created, it was also mentioned during the course of this presentation today. So I think that there is an issue caused by extreme and blanket promotion of the renewable. So back to the feed-in tariffs, which are also with more, I would say, bigger or less success, implemented differently in different states. So as a result of that, we got new congestions, not only on the borders, of course. They are partially not considered when calculating the capacities, and this is of course negative impact to the neighboring system. So it really got not an issue of national let's say assessment, but definitely we need their coordination, and we need their actually consideration of not only neighboring areas but regional areas. And I would say, as a summary, not enough coordination either on technical or no financial level. So there could be a possibility how to actually solve at a level of technical measures or financial settlement measures to be implemented actually, but it's not in place yet, and we see actually the negative results. And opportunities, well, these are the possible solutions. So technically, definitely there is huge room to implement functioning capacity calculation on in a coordinated manner, and of course including remedial measures, and in line with that, or let's say, in parallel with that, there should be implemented also financial settlement, which would support the coordination as well. And the second part is, of course, adjustment of the renewable resources promotion, considering the practical possibilities. Up to now, it was kind of blanket requirements on all over Europe, which at least seem to be a little bit crazy sometimes. We see it when changing the when seeing the changes in the nature. Why then? What the coordination and the congestion management means? Why is it needed? This is kind of, let's say, possible to be derived from what I said. So we definitely need across regional coordination and capacity calculation. Even the regional is still necessary to be more developed, and capacity allocation. Why is quite clear. We need to let's say add the efficiency into the electricity market, because congestion management is definitely a quite important part in the electricity market. How? By setting and keeping the same clear rules. It definitely is valid for the renewables part as well, but for the congestion management part, the same way. And who would be interested is quite clear, the end consumers who actually pays finally all the parade here. Of course, represented in the national, from the national perspective, by regulators, states, and so on. Yeah, one picture on coordination, how it looks like, a little bit balancing a triangle of interests of market participants, where the interests differs for bigger and smaller market participants, and of course the regulators. So we are kind of, let's say, trying to find the balance and contribute to, or let's say, make the coordination happen in the congestion management world. I think the legal requirement and basis for the coordination is well known. You would find it in the presentation in short form as well. Bring also the experience from the CE region. As I already mentioned, Croatia joined operation of the CE auction office as a first cross-regional step. This is quite a positive message. There are some thoughts about joining other states, rather eastern. However, this is still these are still rather ideas, so we need to wait perhaps. So Hobbs already now joined. There is still old name. Sorry for that. We will correct afterwards. Still, we are operating on a separate auction rules for the CE region and Croatia. However, I would say the rules are almost identical, so it also brings coordination and hopefully for the market participants. This is another, let's say, value added when operating the two borders with Slovenia and Hungary towards Croatia from one auction office. And coordination of capacity calculation. You might heard about so-called flow-based capacity calculation. Why is it required? It is to say that the network code allows for both the so-called NTC, or coordinated NTC, and also flow-based. However, in the areas where the grid is meshed in the way, like it is in our CE region, it will be required to have this flow-based. Why it is so? Because this method is actually reflecting in the best way this specifics of meshed grid. You might actually, those who a little bit follow this project know that it has a little bit history. It started already in 2006, and now I would say CAO got the expertise, got the tools in order to operationally run this capacity calculation. However, it's still not in operation. Why? Because the TSOs actually found another issue, which seemed to be kind of a breaker in starting the operation, and these are actually the problem of parallel flows resulting mainly from the renewables, wind parks in northern Germany, not considering actually the internal constraints in the grid, especially in Germany. So what is actually necessary and what we are supporting the TSOs with actually the discussion in resolving this use of neighboring grids when taking the parallel flows resulting from the renewables. However, the method is ready to be run. We need to actually resolve this. Okay. We need to move on. So I would rather skip these. You will find in the presentation pictures of how the capacity calculation, capacity allocation is now, let's say, operated within Europe. So you see that there are certain entities running these, let's say, parts of congestion management. And I will maybe skip these slides and show the conclusions. We have certain centers of excellence within Europe. We have CAO, of course. We have Corezo for Central Western Europe. CASC for capacity calculation in Central Western Europe. We have Corezo for capacity calculation in Central Western Europe, where this role is also included in CAO for our region. Now it is quite visible that in that area definitely a certain consolidation is necessary in order to bring efficiency. I have to say that we have started talks with CASC, with the Central Western capacity allocator in order possibly to bring very soon kind of efficient solution for most of Europe. Of course, Croatia as a let's say a partner of CAO will be in, and this might bring value added for the Croatian market participants, traders as well. Hopefully, when easing the rules for getting transmission capacity within Europe. So that's all. That's it. Thanks.
Perfect. Thank you, Martin. Maybe just to finalize one question before continuing with hubs. you mentioned that possibility of extending to Eastern markets. Is it your vision? What would be a vision of CAO in uniform market?
Yeah. Okay. Well, definitely we try to offer the service. We try to extend the expertise we got. I would say since some 3 years ago already, we also cooperated with the CAO project in Montenegro. However, now I would say we are just kind of watchers because it somehow runs itself. But I would believe that the consolidation and coordination would be needed there. I mean, finally, Europe doesn't need 3 auction offices. It doesn't need perhaps 2. So I would definitely expect that it will come together. It's just a question of priorities now, question of time. And now, as I introduced, the priority is actually to coordinate the entities who are already running on the market, and this is CAO in Central Eastern Europe and CASC Central Western, and to bring efficient solution for the market first, perhaps, and then invite the others.